today with us the
Hi.
couple that is behind GINLEE Studio, and these are GINLEE and Tamir. Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
Hello,
hi.
Jade. Hello,
Hi, Jane. How are
everyone.
you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Uh, um,
That was a big sigh.
we kind of decide to do it by ourselves, not to have like a domestic helper or like just to, I don't know, because we believe that, you cannot be only, kind of like having the happy time when you don't have the struggle with them in a way. And I think it keeps us kind of like aware of like how they are from day to day. So for that bit, it's quite tough. And at the same time, obviously, running the business and all that. So I would say like it's very tiring, but rewarding at the same time.
First of all, we are working together. So we spend our time always together. The only place that we're actually not together is when we go to the public toilet. Basically, we are always together. So naturally, everything is like split, And, yeah, as my wife is kind of also my manager, so, so I get very clear instructions.
We have unspoken rules on who do what. Like, so we get home, usually he will, proceed to cook, and I'll put them, tidy up the house and all that. And like, just kind of like, sleep and kind of get through the day until the kids are in bed. He will read one of them bedtime story, I'll read the other one bedtime story, and then eventually meet back again and go, okay, done. So I think, yeah, we're kind of completely sharing the duties.
That must actually bring the both of you closer together as well as a couple.
Yeah, I believe so. Like we had a long time, obviously, also with the business. We started the business together, so we had a lot of time to work out the differences between us and our managing style, and just with everything that can involve communication as a partner and as a couple as well. Like I think we had a long time to work over many years to improve ourselves and how we feel about each other and the communication with each other. So I think when the kids come along, it was like additional to it. So I think it's good. I think for us, communication is the key to speak about things, to make sure like things are voiced out and not just lift them up. So yeah.
That's so cool. So you actually had like a dress rehearsal for parenting when you were bringing up your business together.
Kind of, yeah. We counted the business as the first kid, so then the second and third came along.
Yeah, most of the time when we fight over design.
Yeah.
Jin, would you tell me a little bit about how you started the business?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I finished from design school in Singapore, so I went on to London to further my study, and then from London I actually went on to Shanghai to work for another. That spent over like the last 2 decades, and then from Shanghai actually we moved back to Israel in 2010. It was then that I started the business in Israel. My first city that I moved in was actually Jerusalem, so it started from this little student apartment that we have. And that's how I started. So it was a lot about learning on the spot, reacting to what the customer want, what that woman is about, and her body shape. Even I remember sitting in the store watching women go in and out, watching their shape, watching how fabric fall on them. So like really had to learn quite fast to find my footing. We find that people were wearing our clothes to go to weddings in Israel, and because it's seen as slightly more elegant for some reason, but in Singapore they see us as more resort-ish. And but in Israel, the dance that the wedding that they go to, they actually dance. So they arrive, they take off their heels, and they start dancing. So that's why we always have this dance test that we do to check the mobility of the clothes, so you actually can move in it and make sure that you can just do dance.
Yeah, it kind of became kind of part of the DNA of the brand as well. So you can also see it in our photographs. Every year we have like at least one dance campaign that we are shooting. So is really like what we try to do is kind of a day to night kind of look, something that can dress it outfit that can take you from day to night. So it's always should be very comfortable. We're really looking into the nature of the woman that we are designing for, right? We incorporate a lot of elements, a lot of inspirations from nature, from the places that we live in, like Singapore and Israel. So
both of us are designers. So I'm a fashion designer and it's industrial designers. So we play a lot with fabric manipulation. That's what we call techniques that you apply on fabric, whether it's embroidery or pleating or laser cutting. It's techniques that we apply. I mean, pleating is one of the techniques that took off. And also, I guess it's a technique that is a bit us because of that industrial feel and that fashion, you know, that we always apply these pleats around the body rather than treat it as a flat. We always try to apply it around the body to see how it can flatter the body shape better. So yeah, so I think that's kind of like what we are known for in today's term. As a design label, as a design studio, we always put the user as first in the call. So to find out like how does she feel about how she's wearing it. So along the way, we realized the easiest way to have that kind of feedback is to have direct contact with the customer. So I think that's also one of the decisions that we make, that we are going to go into retail because that's the last leg of this customer journey for us. And it's very important for us to master that as well in order for us to tell the full brand story. So you can understand why we're not envisioning for ourselves like chain store, nothing like that. We are very much down to having a unique store and having a unique experience in each store. I think that's more our idea of like what success is, so that everyone that goes into the store can feel us, can feel what we're trying to say, what we're trying to do. A concept called Make, which is making store, making shop, and it's a really kind of like trying to work on the solutions for two key issues of our industry. One is obviously this whole question about brick and mortar shops. Is it still needed and all that, so that customer changing needs. And the other is a sustainability issue in our industry. So because we always have to produce in order to sell, so we thought if we can come up with a solution that we can only produce on demand, you know, that would be great. So that, you know, the whole store was kind of like built in order to facilitate that ideology of us. So it's like we are pleating in store, so people get to see how things are made and get to do also their own selection. So that's the personalization part to it. So basically, yeah, that's the reason why we do it, because we believe in there's a better way of doing things.
We do feel that it makes everything feel a bit more precious as well, because you know the customer actually walks through the process of making, and they see the magic of something becomes something else. So basically, you see like this flat bag at the beginning and how it becomes like pleated and takes its shape slowly.
Yeah.
Like,
Would you show us?
Everything is pleated on the spot, but the amazing thing about it and why we like it so much, it really changes the way it looks. It changes the textile of the texture of the item, but it also changes the shape. So this is kind of a vertical pleat, but if I were to pleat it the other way around, it will become a bit square-ish. So that's what it does to visually impact the way it looks, and that's the packaging for it. So you have like obviously who's the customer and what's the content. So when you box it up, right before the handle. So it's all kind of like very much thought through.
We kind of had to build the whole mini industrial process in the shop, which is also quite interesting. Like we design our own machines to make the pleats, and everything was kind of very custom made to this project. What it means is that get order on demand. You can go to the shop, you can try the things, and you can choose if to buy it now or to wait 3 to 5 weeks. Okay? And then we are able to learn
use the data.
Yeah, to learn how the customer respond to the style, and we produce according to that demand. Yeah, it was a good opportunity to catch up.
It's coming again.
I love how you always use words like opportunity. It's like it's always opportunity and crisis. Well, hello. Hi, little one.
Say hello, Adam. Say hello.